All right, so this is part two of the June 2025 Regents. I just want to go through this simple, sweet, to the point. Okay, so for the first thing that we're going to do, whenever you see a graph like this, you're going to look and see where the midline of this graph is, where it cuts the graph in half in the middle, right? So we see that this lowest point is 5, this highest point is 25. So what number is in the middle? 15, right? There are a couple of different ways to do it. 25 plus 5 is 30, divided by 2 is 15, or you can kind of count up and down. Anyway, so 15, that number, that midline is C. So C is equal to 15. That's our midline. We're going to study this in unit 5, 6. All right. The next thing, so they don't ask us for C, right? They're asking us to find out A, but I want to show you things one at a time, okay? After that midline, the next thing we want to do is we want to find the height, right? From the midline up. So what is this distance from 25 to 15, right? So 25 minus 15 is equal to 10. So our A is our height. It's called amplitude. And in this case, it's 10, which is the answer to our question. Okay, so 10 units. And it says to the nearest integer, so we're good with that. And then the last one that they would ask you to find is this b right here. So uh, this usually falls in line with the word period. So period is equal to 2 pi over b. Cool. And so if they asked us to find b, we would see how long it takes to make a full cycle. So for us to figure that out, you can see like the graph starts here at the midline, goes up, comes down, and stops right here. So we want to find out what this is. And if you want to figure out what that is, you can go ahead and do. It's always 2 pi over, and they gave us b in this case, right? They gave us over pi over 6. So if you're solving this, you could take this and put this into the calculator. I'm just going to show this to you by hand. 2 pi over 1 divided by pi over 6, right? When you're doing division, remember from middle school, you keep, change, flip to change that to times, and then this becomes 6 over pi. So the pi's cancel out, and this is 12. Okay, so our b is equal to pi over 6, right? That's the number that's in front of the t. And our period is what we just found, which is 12. Okay, cool. Not bad for this question. The correct answer for A is 10, and I just showed you how to do that. All right. This question right here, you can take this and plug this into the calculator. So we're going to add calculator, hit menu, go to algebra, go to nsolve, and then you could type in the function. So square root is control x squared, and then you type in the function, which is x minus 2. So x minus 2, then go to the right, and then it's plus x. So plus x is equal to 4, and then don't forget to do comma x, and then you plug it in and it gets 3. Cool. So now we know that our answer is x equals 3. For that's one point. To get our second point, you have to do this algebraically. So subtract x from both sides. So the square root of x minus 2 is equal to 4 minus x. To get rid of our square root, you have to do the opposite of a square root. So the opposite of square root is a square. So we're going to square both sides. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. And that allows us to cancel this out. So you're left with x minus 2 is equal to 4 minus x squared, which is 4 minus x times 4 minus x. If I'm going too fast, slow me down. So you could do this box method right here. So 4 negative x, 4 negative x, or you could do FOIL. So that's 16. This is negative 4x. This is negative 4x. And this is x squared. So we have x squared minus 8x plus 16, because we just added these babies, okay, is equal to x minus 2. Good. Now we're going to get one side equal to 0. So we're going to do minus x and plus 2 plus 2. And now we get 0 is equal to x squared minus 10x plus 18. So we're looking to double bubble this. So we have x and x. No, not minus 10x. This is minus 9x. minus 9x. Cool. So minus 6 and minus 3, two numbers that multiply to give us 18 and that add to give us negative 9. Multiply to give us 18 and add to give us negative 9. So negative 6 and negative 3. So then to figure out what x is, you split this up and you go x minus 6 equals 0 and x minus 3 equals 0. So here you add 6 to both sides and you get x equals 6 and x equals 3. Now, x equals 6 does not work, and we knew that by using our end solve. But if you wanted to check it to make sure, here's my check, right? We plug it back into the original. So 6, we're going to check x equals 6, okay? 6 minus 2 plus 6 equals 4. Is that true? So this is square root of 4 plus 6. Does that equal 4? Square root of 4 is 2. 2 plus 6, does that equal 4? And the answer to that is no, it does not. So x equals 6 does not work, and this is called extraneous. Extraneous means that it is extra and it does not work. Okay. All right, for this one, factor the expression. So we have x minus 1 squared, which again is x minus 1 times x minus 1 plus distribute here. So you get 5x minus 5 minus 6. And we're just factoring this. So we're going to FOIL this again. We get x squared minus 2x plus 1 plus 5x minus 5 minus 6. We're going to combine like terms here. So you get x squared plus 3x. And this is going to be minus 10. And we are going to double bubble this. So all I did is combine like terms. So do that yourself. And we're looking for two numbers that add to give us 3 and multiply to give us negative 10. So 5 and 2, x plus 5 and x minus 2. And that is our answer. We factored it completely. This question, I know we haven't done it, but it's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to just show it to you right now. Let's see. Here, let's do this. So it says if keyword here is given, right? So when we see that word given, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the two categories that we have. Determine the exact probability that the person claims to relax by listening to music. So listening to music is here, right? So that's in yellow. And then we want to figure out how many people, given that the person is female, right? So females are here. Ooh, cool. So the number that corresponds to both, that is in both, is 94. So we see that 94 overlaps with both. So that's the number that's going to go on top. Over, after the word given, do you see how there's females? So we want to see the total number of females. So you're going to add up 87 plus 94 plus 21, and that's going to give us 202. So 94 over 202 is our final answer. Pretty straightforward. This is why we save this for later. Okay. This one, equation. As soon as you see this, you're going to write y equals, or f of x equals. And then we're going to see where the graph crosses the x-axis right here, right? So it crosses it here at negative 3 and here at positive 1. Cool. So let's go ahead and do that. When we're double bubbling this, you're going to switch the sign of the negative 3. So that's going to be x plus 3. And what happens at negative 3, right? It goes through. Do you see it? It goes from negative to positive, no problem. Okay. However, on this side, right, when it crosses at 1, you see how it bounces? It hits it and bounces. It changes direction. So that means that the x, this is positive 1, so it's going to become negative 1, is going to have a multiplicity of 2, which means that it's going to hit it and bounce. That means that it's going to be hitting it twice, okay? It's like I mentioned it in class, like reverse in Uno. So when it hits and bounces, that's a multiplicity of 2. When it goes straight through, then that's just 1 to the first power. And we know it is cubic because it tells us it's a cubic with the leading coefficient of 1. So boom, there's an imaginary 1 right there. Okay, so this is our final answer for question 29. Soon as you see, soon as you see this right here, that should key the word inverse. Inverse means you're going to take x and y and you're going to switch them. So where's our y here, right? F of x is y. So we have y equals 2/3 x plus 6. We did not do any switching yet. So let's do it, okay? The inverse now that we're going to switch it, is going to become x equals 2/3 y plus 6. So you could technically stop right there and you're done because it doesn't tell you to get the y by itself. But if you wanted to, you could do minus 6 minus 6. I said minus 6, not x. So we get x minus 6 is equal to 2/3 y. This cancels out. And then to get rid of the 2/3, you multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 2/3, the flip. So whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. This cancels out because that's 1. So we get y is equal to 3 halves x minus 3 halves times, right? We're going to do this. So 3 halves times negative 6 is 6 divided by 2 is 3 times 3 is 9. So this is also our answer, or y equals 3 halves x minus 9. Either one of these answers works, okay? Or equivalent. The next one. So this one we're going to need our calculator. So I'll sketch at least one cycle of the function. Technically, actually, do we need a calculator? I mean, I'll show it to you on the calculator, but if we take a look, you see how the amplitude is 4, and this is the midline, right? So the midline is at 0. So the graph is going to be split right here at at y equals 0. And so now that means that the height is going to be 4. So our amplitude or our height is 4. So the highest it's going to be is positive 4. The lowest it's going to be is negative 4. Cool. So this is cosine, which cosine starts at the top. At the max, it goes down, hits the minimum, and then comes back up. And let's see how long it takes to make a full cycle, right? So just like we did before, you see how here our b is equal to 2. So we want to find our period. Remember the formula for period? Period is equal to 2 pi over b. So let's replace b equals 2. So 2 pi over 2, right? The 2's cancel out, so that means that the period is equal to pi. That means it takes pi units to make one full cycle. That's what a period is, how long it takes to make a full cycle. So technically, this is all we need to get full credit for that question. And I haven't taught you this yet. We just did units 1 through 4, but let's show you how our calculator does the same thing. So we're going to hit on, we're going to go to a graph, and I'm going to type in our function. So how do I get cos, right? You hit under control is trig. So we're going to press cos. Oh. Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? Hello. Okay, so what is going on, guys? Can I just start again? No. Add graphs. Okay, so I'm going to do 4. I'm going to do trig. I'm going to go to cos, and I'm going to do 2x. So all I'm doing is I'm plugging in what's given, and I'm going to hit enter. So here I can see that if I hit menu and I go to graph trace, you see graph trace? So here's our top 0, 4. I'm going to go down. Our 0 is right there. And then if I keep going, this is our minimum is at negative 4, right? So maximum is 4, minimum is negative 4. And how long does it take to make a full cycle? You see how our max right here is at 3.14, right? Isn't that the same thing as pi? So how long it takes to make a full cycle is pi. Cool. So isn't that what I just drew? How long it takes to make a full cycle is 3.14, da 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 da. The max is 4, the minimum is 4, goes up, comes down, hits it, and moves on. Okay, so that's how you get your calculator to do this. Key thing is your mode should be in radian. If it's in degrees, you're going to see just that, but it's not correct because your mode should be in radian. And the reason why is because this is not like 360 degrees. It's in radian form. Okay. Like I said, we did not cover that, but we can figure that out. This question we did not do, so we're going to skip that for right now. You can watch the video that I posted in the classroom about that. This question you should have definitely done. Okay. So you can use NSolve for this to solve this, but we're going to do this by hand. So solve it algebraically. So we're going to do cross multiply here. Okay, so boom, boom. So we have x times 2x plus 3 is equal to 2 times x minus 4. We just cross multiplied. So this is going to give us x squared plus 3x is equal to 2x minus 8. Okay, so now it's just like before, you're going to get everything equal to 0. So minus 2x, add 8, add 8. So this cancels. So you have x squared plus x plus 8 equals 0. There are no two numbers that multiply to give us 8 and add to give us 1. There's an imaginary 1 here. So you have to do quadratic formula. Quadratic formula is on your formula sheet if you don't have it memorized. But this is what it is. This is a story about a negative boy. He had a choice to go to a radical party, but the boy was a square, missed out on 4 awesome chicks, and the party was all over at 2 a.m. Okay, so we have our A is 1. There's an imaginary 1 here. Our B is also 1, right? Here's our B, here's our A, and here's our C. Our C is equal to 8. So we're going to take that, we're going to plug that into our calculator. Give me 1 second. So I realized something that I did wrong is this is x times 2x is supposed to be 2x squared, not 1x squared. So our A, this is why it's important to just make sure that you're good. Our A is equal to 2, not 1. Okay, so now we're going to plug it into our formula. So the opposite of B, negative B, is negative 1 plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 1 squared, minus 4 times 2 times 8, all over 2 times 2. Cool. So this is going to be negative 1 plus or minus. If you plug in what's under the radical, not the radical itself, 1 minus 4 times 2 times 8 is going to be 63, negative 63. All over 2 times 2, which is 4. Okay, so since it says put it in simplest a plus bi form, we have to simplify this radical here. So what comes out, right? As soon as there is a negative under the radical, there's an I that comes out. 63 is the same thing as square root of 9 times the square root of 3. 9 times 3 is 63. Cool, so this is equal to, let me just make sure that that is correct. 9 times 3 is not 63. 9 times 3 is 27. 63 is 9 times 7. Cool. Okay, so the square root of 9 is equal to 3, right? So that means that negative I plus or minus 3I radical 7. 3I radical 7 all over 4. This cannot be simplified any further because 1 over 4 is just 1 over 4. So we just split this fraction up as negative 1 over 4 plus or minus 3I radical 7 over 4. Okay, so this is our final answer. And you have to split it up because it says A plus BI form. Okay. Can I just go back to this real quick? I do want to show you this. Nothing is crazy here. Completely doable. So we are going to do this later at another time. Use simulation results. Simulation is approximately with a normal of here. So the mean is this and a standard deviation of is this. So the formula whenever you're doing questions like this is when we are looking for to see if we are agreeing or disagreeing with the claim. We're going to say this thing is called 95% confidence interval. Like that means like with 95% confidence, the formula is always going to be mean plus or minus two times the standard deviation. Standard deviation. Okay. So since we're given that the mean is 0.705 plus or minus two times the standard deviation is 0.045, so we could just plug this into the calculator, right? So 0.705 minus 2 times 0.045 is equal to 0.615, and then 0.705 plus 2 times 0.045, run out of space here, cool, is equal to 0.795. So the confidence interval is from 0.615 to 0.795. And so now we want to see if the player won 67% of the time, which is 67% is the same thing as 0.67. So does 0.67 fall in this interval from this to this? Let's see, let's add a zero here. Yeah, 670, right? 0.670 falls in this range. So we can say, does the contest result provide evidence to contradict the designer's claim? And the answer to this is no. And the reason why is because 0.670 falls within the confidence interval. And like I said, if you get this, great, right? Whenever you see 95% confidence interval, this is the formula that you need to memorize. If you don't understand it, no big deal. We will learn it later. Okay? Question number 34. This one also we have not covered, but this is another question with the middle 95% of scores, right? We just did this. So this is also for 95% confidence interval. It's always going to be the mean plus or minus two times the standard deviation. So do we have a mean here? Yeah, the mean is 750 and the standard deviation is 20. So we're going to do 750 plus or minus 2 times 20. And that range of scores, 750 minus 2 times 20 is 710, 2, and then 750 plus 2 times 20 is 790. So that is the interval from 710 to 790. And then it says to the nearest whole percent, determine the percentage of accepted students who scored a 760 or less. So for this one, yeah, this one technically right now you are not going to be able to answer it. But I'll just show you this real quick. So this is 50%, which is half, plus 19.1%. And that is going to be found with the calculator. So this is going to be about 69% to the nearest whole percent. Okay. And again, we are going to go through that the second part of the semester, second semester. 35, you could have completely done as long as you followed this. They want us to write it as a polynomial in standard form. Cool. So c of x is 3x squared minus 4x plus 7. We are going to take that and we are going to multiply it by d of x, which is x minus 2. And then from that, we're going to subtract d of x to the third. So minus x minus 2 to the third power. Okay. So some of you did get this correct as you were doing it, but you need to do a box method here or FOIL. So you have a couple of things that you're going to need to multiply. 3x squared minus 4x plus 7 and x minus 2. So this gives us 3x to the third. Then we have negative 4x times x is negative 4x squared. And then we have 7 times x is 7x. And then we have negative 6x squared. We have 8x. We have negative 14. Cool. So now we're going to combine like terms here. Just make sure. Cool. So we have 3x to the third, right? Minus, this is going to give us minus 10x squared. This is going to give us 15x. And this is minus 14. And from that, we are going to subtract x minus 2 to the third power. Cool. So let's do it, okay? X minus 2 times x minus 2. That's going to give us x squared minus 2x plus 4. So that's going to give us x squared minus 4x plus 4, right? Combine these babies. And then from that, we're going to multiply x minus 2. So again, we have another box. This problem's just long, tedious. Nothing's hard about it. Minus 4x plus 4. And this is x minus 2. So there's going to be x to the third minus 4x squared plus 4x. This is going to be negative 2. Negative 2x squared. This is going to be positive 8x. And this is going to be negative 8. All right, so we have 3x to the third minus 10x squared plus 15x minus 14 minus, right? This whole thing came down, keep. And then we have over here, this is going to give us x to the third, right? These babies are going to combine, so that's going to be negative 6x squared. This is going to be plus 12x minus 8. So when we're doing subtraction, this is like a negative 1. So we're going to distribute this. So this is going to be negative x to the third plus 6x squared minus 12x plus 8, right? We're just switching the signs. And we're going to combine that with 3x to the third minus 10x squared plus 15x plus 14. So let's combine some like terms here. All right, so 3x to the third and a negative x to the third is 2x to the third. And then we have negative 10x squared plus 6x squared. That's negative 4x squared. And then we have 15x and a negative 12x. So that gives us plus 3x. And then we have 14 plus 8. Oh, that's a negative 14. Yeah, negative 14. Right? Negative 14 plus 8 is negative 6. So this is our final answer. That was a horrible rectangle. This is our final answer. Like I said, nothing is crazy there. Completely doable. Just takes a while. So they gave us a hint here. Geometric series formula. And if you look at the reference sheet for this question, let's see if we can find it quick. Yeah, reference sheet. So you see how there's a geometric series formula right here. So we are going to use this geometric series formula for this problem that we have. Okay, so let me go back up to it. Where's our thing? Let's go up. Oh, down. Okay, so the formula is A1 minus A1 times R to the N all over 1 minus R. So let's figure out what each of these things are. A1 is our first term, so 85,000 is our A1. For each additional year, he will receive a 2.5% raise, right? So remember that when you are doing a raise, you have to do 1 plus the R, right? Or 100% plus the 2.5%. So that is equal to 102.5%. as a decimal, this number is, move the decimal 2 places to the left, so 1.025 is our rate. Cool. So now we found our R and then N, right? We want to know how much it is over N years. So now let's just plug numbers in. Our A1 is 85,000. So 85,000 minus our A1 again is 85,000 times our R, which we just found out is 1.025 to the N all over 1 minus R, which is 1.025. So all it says is write a geometric formula, C of N. So we just did that. So that's our answer for 2 points. Okay. Then it says use this formula, the one that we just did, to the nearest $100 over his first 10 years of employment. So that means that we're going to do 85,000. So we're doing C of 10 is equal to 85,000 minus 85,000 again times 1.025 to the 10 all over 1 minus 1.025. And this is something that you could just plug into your calculator. And when you do that, you're going to get that C of 10 rounded to the nearest $100 is going to be 952,300 because we're going to round it to the nearest $100. And that is your answer. Okay. Last question. We're almost done. Not too bad. Just make sure. Okay, 31 minutes. Not bad. Okay. So cesium, da, 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 da. So they give us a formula here. And then they tell us what each of these numbers mean. So we are looking to find out the initial amount sample of 500 grams. That is our A0. And then it's going to be e to the k. So right now we don't know what the k is, but we do know that the time, right, is 60.34. Okay, so now we're just going to go and it says how long it takes to get to 125 grams. So let's go ahead. So our A of t is 125. So we're going to have 125 equals, our A0 again was 500, e to the k, and then our t is times 60.34. Cool. So we could do NSolve here. So math, right? We did this before. Menu, algebra, NSolve, numerical solve, and then you can get that k is about negative 0.023. Okay. And again, how do you do that in the calculator? So let's do on, new, no, add calculator, menu, algebra, and solve. And then you're going to type in the function. So 500e is here to the, so we have 60.34 k, which we can put x for now, go to the right, and then we put equals 125, and then we put comma, right? And then we're looking for, we called it x. And so you get this number right here, which we're rounding it to the nearest thousand, so it's negative 0.023. Okay, that's how we get that. That's 2 points. That's not bad. So then it says use this value for k. That will find the mass of the 500 gram sample remaining after. So now we're leaving it in terms of t. So we have A of t. We're going to use our same formula that we did at the top, right? This original one that they gave us. Our A0 again is 500. So I'm going to put 500 e to the, now we know that k is negative 0.023, and we're going to leave this as t. That's our answer. Not bad. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take it and we are going to graph it on from 0 to 150. So we need to take our calculator. We're going to go to on, we're going to go to new, we're going to hit add graphs, and we're going to type in this function, right? 500 e to the negative 0.023 X. Just make sure that I type that in correctly. Cool, and I'm going to hit enter. So it says they want me to go from, let's go back to the question, from 0 to 150. Okay, so from 0 to 150. So that means that I'm going to hit my menu. I'm going to go to my zoom, go to my window settings. I'm going to go from 0 to 150. You see that? And then we'll let this pick. And for right now, let's see. So I know that if I look at my function, my y is from 0 to some number. I don't know what that is. So let's change this to 0. And let's just go crazy for right now. Let's just do 500 and see what happens. Okay, now that actually worked pretty well. I just happened to guess 500, which makes sense because it is decaying. Okay, so now I have to graph this, yes? So let's pick some nice things to graph. So let's hit menu, let's hit trace like we did before, and let's do graph trace. So I can see that here's some numbers that I can graph. So when I'm graphing it, I want to see what my intercept is, which is 0, 500. So now I know that I have to label. Let's see if I go, I have to go from 100. Let's see if I skip every 4. That's 200. 2, 3, 4. That's 300. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, I did that wrong. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I go 100, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to get to 500. Let's see if it fits. 2, 3, 4. 300. 1, 2, 3, 4. 400. 1, 2, 3, 4. 500. That works. So 0, 500 is our points. They're going to label this as 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500. Forgive me for being sloppy with this. Cool. And then for our x's, we're going to go from, remember it said from 0 through 150. So let's see if I only have to do 0 through 150. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I do 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 150. Cool. So this is 100 and this is 50. So now I have 0, 500. So I did that. And then if I keep going to the right, I don't have to graph a lot of points, but I should make sure that I'm clear. So I'm going to keep going until it gives me like a nice roundish number. So this is okay. 22, 300 around. Let's see what happens at 50. 50, 158. Okay, so 50, and this is about 158. Can be somewhere right around here. Cool. And then I'm going to keep going to about 100. What is this? So 70 is about 100. That's a little bit hard to graph, so let's see if I can go to 100. 100 is 50. That's easy to graph, right? 100 is 50. Cool. And then if I go to 150, you get what I'm doing? I'm kind of seeing like what these numbers wind up being. So this is about 16. So 150 is about 16. Somewhere around here. Cool. So I'm going to do my best to connect my dots. And yours is going to be a lot better than mine. Cool. This is a good estimate. If I do 20, 40, 60, 80. So it should be a little bit lower. Maybe right about here. Okay. So somewhere around there. And if I want to know like actual numbers, right, I could always hit menu. I can go to the table and split screen. And then this will help me get the actual numbers. So I can go cool, right? Or if I'm like, I don't want to see all of this, I can do table, edit table settings, and I can say go by 50 here, and table start, get started at 0, and then I can see numbers, right? So 0, 500, 50, 158. This might have been a little bit easier to see the numbers. Yeah, so 150 is about 16. And then 200 is about 5. Okay, so I know that eventually it's going to get to like where this is. It's going to get lower. Okay. So now it says find AFT, the average rate of change. There's always going to be an average rate of change function. So remember y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is the first lesson that we ever did. That's our slope, our average rate of change. So we want to find it from 0 to 60. So let's see. So our point that we're looking for is 0 comma something and 60 comma something. Okay. So what number is across from 0, right? You see how across from 0 is 500? So I'm going to go 0 comma 500. And what number is across from 60, right? So right now I can't see that. So if I go back to menu here, I go to table, I go to edit table settings, and I say, okay, I want to know what 60 is. Okay. So across from 60 is 125.789, right? At the bottom right here, I can see the whole number. So I can do a Control C here, and then I can bring it back into my calculator. I can do this right here. So I can go Control Division to get my fraction bar. So remember our y2 minus y1. So this is that 125, whatever, that number. Okay. So I have, this is our x1, this is our y1, this is our x2, this is our y2. So I'm going to do that 125 point something minus 500 over our x2, which is 60 minus 0. Cool. So now this is something that I can plug into my calculator. So I'm going to do that number. So Control V, paste it. Will you paste it for me? Or do I need to actually? There we go. Minus 500 over, and I'm going to do 60 minus 0. And I'm going to get an answer, right? So this is my slope, negative 6.24. What is it asking me to round to? To the nearest tenth. So our slope is going to be negative 6.2. 6.2, right? I'm rounding it to the nearest tenth. There we go. That's it. Explain what this gives, what this means given the context. So we're talking about mass. So the mass of an element, right? And it doesn't go up because it's negative, it decreases. And what's our units, right? It decreases about 6.2. And what's our units? 6.2 what? Grams. Yeah, grams. So it decreases about 6.2 grams per. And on this side right here, that's grams. And then what is on our y-axis, right? That should be time. Yeah, after t years. T years per year. Good. So explain what this means in terms of the given context. We are done. The mass of an element decreases about 6.2 grams per year, and we are done. That's it. All right, not too bad, I hope. 44 minutes? I'll take it.